but what I've got is I've got a big gap between the chrome and the white, and it's bigger on the left side than it is on the right side. Every 10 years or so, I buy a new truck, and I wait until one of the manufacturers come out with a model I like. And I used to not care what manufacturer it was, and then I bought a Ford, and I had that for 10 years or maybe even 12, and I really didn't like it that much, but it was a good truck. It served me well. And then I got back into a Chevrolet or a GM product. I got into a GMC Sierra, and I totally loved that truck. Had it for 10 years, put about 125,000 miles on it. And I was looking at new trucks, and the new truck prices were just outrageous. Like, I just couldn't justify, no matter what my income is, no matter how much disposable income I have, there's no way I was going to take a truck that I just paid 10 years ago by I paid $30-some thousand for, and now that same truck is like $65,000. So what I did was I bought a used truck. So this is my 2018 GMC Sierra SLT. So I found this actually on a Toyota dealer's lot, 2018 with 25,000 miles. It's a year later. It's got like 38,000 miles or so on it. And because GM is known to have issues with the engine and transmission, it's really hard to get them to 200,000 or 300,000 miles. And I kind of want this to be my forever truck. I started looking at the last year of the Toyota Tundra, where they were still putting V8s in it, which was the 2021. And I was like, I'm going to get a 2021 Toyota Tundra, and I'm going to lift it, and that's going to be my forever truck. Because those are in such demand, a low mileage 2021 Tundra is pushing like $50,000. So I figured, even if I have to put a new transmission and engine in this 5-6 years from now, I'm still money ahead to stay with a GM product. So just last week, I put a 5-inch rough country suspension lift kit in it. I didn't go crazy with coilovers or anything. It's got the original rough country Z71 struts in it. They put a spacer kit in there and all the other brackets to raise it up 5 inches front and rear, a block in the rear, and new shocks in the rear, because now it's 5 inches taller and the old shocks wouldn't work. Or the next thing left to do is rims and tires. So I put the rims on order. They're back order. The tires are readily available. It currently has Michelin's on it, which is one of the best tires out there, but it's not a very aggressive tread. So I'm going to go with Falcon Wild Peaks AT4s or AT4Ws. Very expensive tire, but the last set I got of them, I put 70,000 miles on them, and when I traded in my truck for this one, it still looked like the tires were new. So I'm a big fan of Falcon Wild Peaks. But where I'm going right now is to address this problem. When I bought it from Toyota, it had this dent in the bumper, and I went to a body shop and they told me to fix this bumper, and that's using all the existing sensors and everything, but to fix this bumper, put a new skin on it, it would be $2,500. And as I fix this truck up and get it the way I want, the next step after tire and rims was I'm going to get my bumper replaced. Well, on Facebook Marketplace, somebody just put a bumper for $50 that fits my truck, and I'm gonna go get it. All right, guys, Facebook Marketplace has scored again. I have an absolutely perfect chrome bumper for $50. I just talked to the gentleman that sold it to me, who actually worked at the same place at the Air Force Base as my wife, and he did it himself. He watched 2 YouTube videos, and he took that off of this truck and put a color matched one on there. And also, I just had a long conversation with him because this truck is set up tire-wise and rim-wise very much like I want mine to be. So he's running 12 by 35s. He's got the amp power steps, so his steps aren't down all the time. He put a Denali grill in it, but he said he came home from work at around 4 o'clock, and he said by dinner time, he had that chrome one off and this color matched one on. So this one here, I'm going to try and do it myself. We'll fix this dent right here. But for $50 versus $2,500 from a body shop, I think I scored big. I got the bumper back home. It's sitting over there. And I've watched several YouTube videos, but here's the way it goes, is that there's a bunch of these little clip things here, little plugs that you pull out, and you take off this valance right here. Once you take that off, then you got to come around here and take off or loosen this trim so you can get behind and loosen up this piece of trim, because this piece of trim has to come out in order to pull your grill out. And once you have your grill off, then you can get access to the bumper bolts, and then it's a pretty straightforward process. I'm going to take my time. I've got all day here, and I'm going to lay the old bumper next to the replacement bumper and swap out everything, because the bumper's going to come off with everything attached to it, and you got to rebolt it on there to include the sensors and all that. There's one harness that holds the bumper on. Once you undo that harness, everything comes off, and then you have to transfer it over here to this shell. Now, one thing that, you know, just shocks me, and it kind of goes back to new trucks versus old trucks, is I used to have a 1985 square body Chevy, 6-inch lift kit, 35-inch tires, and it had a true chrome bumper on it. That thing is just a skin. It's very flexible, it's very thin, and I guess they're made to collapse in case of an accident. That's something that's a safety feature built in, but you look at it and you think you've got this big beefy bumper, and you don't. You got something that's very easy to dent. We'll start with these push pins here. Now, the back side of the push pin has a place to put a screwdriver. You can usually just kind of pry it up a little bit, but as they get older, they kind of get, the plastic in them gets weaker. So we don't want to damage these. You just pull the center out with 2 screwdrivers. And once you get the center out, then you've kind of got it beat. There we go. Once it pops out, then it just comes out, and that's what holds in a lot of pieces. Pulled out all those push pins, so this piece of valance or trim should come right off, and it did. That was easy. A lot of push pins, and because the truck is almost 8 years old, some of that plastic has started to deteriorate a little bit, but I didn't break any, so I can reuse them all. And now the next step is taking off that valance above the bumper, and that's probably the hardest step in this whole process. We'll start here and take this bolt out of the trim, and it's a 7mm. What you got to do is get behind this to get a screw that holds on that valance. Take this screw out here in the molding, and also take that screw out right there, because it looks like it's easy enough to do. And these are what you're unpopping out of this trim. It's holding this plastic to my metal here. There we go. That should be plenty. You can see the split line here of my trim that I'm trying to remove. So you had to take all this apart to get out this bolt that goes vertical that holds on your valance here. Comes out pretty easy. And you'll do the exact same thing on the other side. Now, this is the part that nobody likes, because you can't really see how it's connected in there, but you know there's clips, and everybody just pulls on it. Now, mine's a little weak here because this bumper got dented, so I did break a little piece of plastic off there, but I don't think it's going to in any way affect this piece of valance. Looks like you got to lift it up off these clips. Yep, there we go. Much better. All right, I'll do the other side off camera, show you how that comes off, then take the grill off. This valance piece here is the most nerve-wracking part, because I don't have a replacement for it. And these clips are buried up under there, and you can't get behind them and loosen them up. You just gotta pry at the right angle. Pry and pray, I guess. That's all you can do, and you can't really use a screwdriver too much, because you don't want to scratch things with the metal part of the screwdriver. I think there's one more clip, and then it'll come off. So the stubborn clips were in this area, and I hadn't seen it before on any videos I watched, but you can actually get underneath and pry the little keeper out of the clip. So that worked to come up from underneath, and I'm just going to take this and put it on the old bumper. Now I should have easy access to my grill, and I do. Right there, there's 4 bolts on the grill, it looks like. And now would be a good time to do a grill change, but I like my truck to be as stock as it can be as far as the body. Now this will have a lift kit and rims and tires and stuff that are different from stock, but I kind of like everything else on the truck to be stock as far as the exterior. So this is consistent with the SLT model, and so will be this new bumper. It actually came off of SLT. I took off 4 bolts off the top, and then there's a bumper mounting bracket up from the bottom. I took a bolt out of that, and then loosened that bracket up so it could swing. And everything that I remember just says it pulls right off from this point. I had to take the harness off for everything that's up here. The harness has one more attachment point on the bumper that I didn't see earlier. Saw one, but I didn't see this one. Yeah, I saw this here, but I thought that this part stayed with the truck, because you think that the majority would stay on the truck and you would just pull the skin off, but nothing like that at all. There's going to be a bunch of pieces that I've got to swap. After you take that valance and the grill and everything off, there's 6 bolts holding that whole bumper assembly on. And then everything else is attached to that, and we got to transfer all that stuff over to the new bumper. So this is not a how to change the bumper on a GM, but if you did stumble on this video and you're looking for some pointers, the same bumper fits to 2016 through the 2018. I don't think it matters if it's SLT or SLE or if it's Chevy or GM. I think they all fit the same. Now the body style is the same from 2014 to 2018, but I don't know if the bumpers are interchangeable across all the years. Now the job itself is not hard, it's just time consuming, and you got to keep track of what you're doing. A lot of this stuff is straightforward. If you can turn a wrench and you've got any kind of mechanical ability, this is a job you can do. But there are some things that I had to check and find out because they were just frustrating me. So I'm going to point out 4 things that I had to look up, and I had to do that through 4 different YouTube videos. So let's start with the parking sensors. I've got 3 in already. There's 1 more left to do. That's the hole for it there. And you've got to take them out. You've got to take the parking sensor out. Now, first of all, you have to take off the electrical harness, and I'll show you how to do that. But to get the sensor out, you got to pry apart these 2 little ears right here. Maybe you can see it better there on a sideways view. But once you get the centerpiece out, which is your actual sensor, then there is this shell, and this shell is what goes through the bumper. And there's actually 2 little detents there that you squeeze together and push the shell through the bumper. Now the shell itself wasn't hard to figure out, but how to get that sensor out, because I was scared of breaking it, and you just pry apart those 2 little tangs that are sticking up. You just pry those wings apart and it comes right out. Now let's talk about the wiring harness. Definitely had to look that up. So GM has a couple of different wiring harnesses, or the way that they fasten the connectors. So they have this one here, and this red piece will slide up. You grab this here and pull it up towards you. And you can do it with your hand sometimes, but you see how that clicked up? Well, I thought that's all you had to do, and I could not get these off, and I didn't want to break them. Well, behind there, there's a little black piece of plastic. So what you do is with your hands or with a screwdriver, you push that black piece of plastic in right there, and then the plug will come out. So that's the black piece that you have to push in. So in the locked position, that red part is down, and then when you pick it up, when you pick the red part up, it exposes that black part, and you squeeze that right there. And there it is. The red part is down now. Now the last thing that baffled me was the nut plate. And the nut plate has to be swapped. So this is the nut plate here, and there's a little piece of metal that sticks up. And I thought you had to push that down, but you don't. What you do is you get underneath that piece of metal and you push it up. And then when you push it up, it releases it, and then you can slide it off of the little bracket. I don't know if you can see, but there's that little piece of metal that's bent down in there, and you have to pry that up. And I was pushing it down. But other than that, I didn't run into anything that was that I couldn't figure out. But those tips should help you. I don't think I'm going to have to look anything else up. I've already taken apart one side. Now I just got to put that back together. I already know how to take the bumper off, so I know how to put it back on. And the next time you hear me talk, everything should be put together. I've got everything transferred over, ready to put this bumper up. Now one thing I noticed about this bumper is that, you know, it's a universal skin for trucks, and my truck has had a dent in the bumper for a while. So this side of the stuff that was existing here, I had to really line it up so that it pulled in straight because it was off a little, but it should be fine going in. I put up that white piece of trim up there, and I noticed right away that my bumper alignment wasn't perfect, and that howling in the background is my Sunfire diesel heater, and I'm using it to warm up the front of the truck. We got down in the upper 30s last night, and even though it was in the garage, I want all that plastic to be nice and pliable because I got to pull that white valance back off and loosen up some bolts and try to adjust this bumper. So this is where the bumper was bent before, nice and shiny and straight now, but what I've got is I've got a big gap between the chrome and the white, and it's bigger on the left side than it is on the right side. I almost could live with it the way it is on the right side, but I don't really want to because I know I can get it better, but it's almost perfect here. And I figure I don't have that white valance piece totally put together and screwed in yet, so it's just easier to take it out now, mess with the bumper a little bit today and get it perfect, and that way I won't think about it and have to start from scratch. But what I do have to do is take off that valance and the grill again. I took this bracket on both sides, and it's got quite a bit of play in it, and I moved it up. I think that might get me what I need. God bless all the body workers out there that work on automobiles to get them perfect for you. And that looks pretty even all the way across. It is so much better. I think I've got it. It's not BMW 1/8 of an inch perfect, but I got it within like 1/4 of an inch or less. Let me show you my clearances and how I got there. This is the dented side where I made all the adjustments to the bumper bracket up underneath. And that clearance is perfect right there, all the way on that side there. Then you can't do anything about this clearance here. That'll pull in tighter once that valance is attached to the grill. And then we'll come over here to this side, because once I got the right side of the truck correct, I couldn't get this clearance right. And look how close I got it. This was like 1/2 inch more than that one. There's 4 bolts that hold this bumper on. There's 2 top ones and 2 bottom ones. So what I did on this side, since it needed to come up, was I put a pry bar in between here, and I put 2 washers in there. So this bolt goes through this truck bumper frame, and then the truck frame, and the 2 washers that are in there, effectively raising that. And on this side, I didn't have to do anything, because once I changed that bracket and those bolts that are in there, that side came up. Well, after I got those 2 shims in there, this bumper was kind of tilted away, like it was kind of down. So I jacked it up here on the very edge of the bumper, and I got underneath and I adjusted that bracket. Okay, let's put it back together for the final time. Okay, I couldn't be more pleased with how that turned out, but I am not pleased with the amount of time I had to put into it. I'll give you a final look of the truck, but that'll wrap it up for today's video. We'll catch you in the next one. Take care, y'all.